Hello, my dear students. Myself, Krutika Patel from Samarpan Gyan School, Rata. As you all know, we have already started Class 8 Social Science History, Chapter number 3, Ruling the Countryside. Today, we have come to an end of today's chapter. A very small last topic is remaining. So, today I'll brief you with the revision part of the whole chapter and then I'll come to our last topic. So let's begin with our topic. You can read out these points in the mind and you can hear to what I explain. The lesson begins with on 12th August 1765 the Mughal Empire appointed the East India Company. The Mughals were there ruling India and they handed over East India Company as the Diwani of Bengal, and so the company became the financial administrator of the territory under its control. And company came to colonize the countryside and organize the revenue resources, redefine the rights of people and produce the crops it wanted. And the major thing what they wanted to do that it was to buy it in the cheaper rates and sell them at the higher rates. And so these were the points which we covered in the chapter. The first topic, that is the revenue, the income for the company, from where it started to earn. So the company got Diwani right and started extracting more and more revenue out of it and used various measures. And then after, the Bengal's economy was facing crisis because the artisans left, because they were forced to sell the goods at cheaper rate because of the British wanted them to buy at cheaper rates, but artisans were at the loss and so they left Bengal. Peasants were also unable to pay the heavy taxes and so the agriculture collapsed. And by the time there was a very big and terrible famine which attacked Bengal and 1/3 of the population was vanished in it. And so the next topic that we started, that is here the agriculture was collapsing. So what was the need? The need was to improve the agriculture. So the Britishers, the East India Company, introduced the new method, that was permanent settlement method was introduced by the Britishers, was under the reign of Lord Cornwallis. Lord Cornwallis was the governor of the Britishers at that time. And so in this system the zamindars were asked to collect the rents which was fixed by the Britishers, and rent has to be collected from the peasants. And what happened, it was said that zamindars can make improvement in the agriculture and so they can earn extra. Now what has happened, agriculture was expanding and so the zamindars were earning and company was not able to earn because the revenue was fixed by the company. But as the agriculture was expanding, so zamindars could earn more and more, and this was the problem which Britishers saw. And so they introduced the new device, the new system of collecting the revenue, that was designed under Holt Mackenzie. Devised the new system which came into effect in 1822. The system was introduced in the North America. There were two different systems in the North America and in the South America. Now what is the system in the North America? It is known as the Mahalwari system. Mahals means village headmen. There were no zamindars in this system. The village headmen have to collect the revenue, and the revenue was also not fixed. And so in this system the village headman was responsible for collecting the revenue and paying back it to the company. So in the northern part of country it was known as Mahalwari system, and there was another system which was known as Rohitwari system or Munro system. It was there in the southern parts of the country. So what is Munro system? It was in the southern parts of the country and it was initiated by the captain Alexander Reed. It was initiated by Captain Alexander Reed and Thomas Munro. In this system, Roets were directly involved in the payment. Roets means farmers. Farmers have to directly pay taxes to the company, and no middleman was there in this system. But not Roet system worked, no Munro system worked, it did not work well, as they desired to increase the income from the land, but the poor farmers were not able to pay the rent because it was very, very high. And so the farmers, the peasants, were forcefully evicted, removed from the land. And the next thing, that they increased the demand for different crops. The crops which were needed in Europe, they were in India, but the crops which were needed in Europe, they wanted to grow it in India. And the maximum cultivation of indigo in the various parts of the country was expanded by the Britishers, and these are the different crops which they wanted. In the previous lecture I have already explained you about the color history, that why they wanted blue color, rich color, because the rich color which indigo plant which was grown in India gave, that rich color was not available in the another plant. They had the wood plant, WOAD, wood plant, but that did not give such a bright color. It was pale and dull. The wood plant, WAD, wood plant, was pale and dull. And so the plantations planted, the indigo planters came in many parts of the North America, Mexico, but during the wars, this region and the abolition of slavery in France colonies, the Britishers started demanding in the Europe itself. And by the time they started the new system of indigo cultivation, there were two systems of indigo cultivation, that is Nij and Roeti. Now Nij was the system in which the planters produced indigo in the land that is directly controlled and rented from the zamindars. But there were certain problems with this niche cultivation, that this cultivation needed highly fertile land, and so it was difficult to get such big areas, and even the area was highly populated, and we cannot just remove the people, and if people were removed, the conflicts used to happen. And on the large scale, the plows and bullocks were also needed, and at that time there was rice cultivation also happening, and so the plows were also not available at the rent, and so they had to shift to which cultivation? Roeti cultivation. Now indigo on the land of Roeti cultivation. In the Roeti system, the planters were forced to sign a contract. They were made to sign a contract, and that too forcefully. And they used to get very low cash in advance, and also the rate of interest for growing the indigo was also very low. And the poor farmers, after the harvest, could not grow rice on that, because it needs high fertility, and after growing indigo, the fertility of the soil is lost. So till here we have already covered up the topic, and today I have also covered up maximum part of it which we have done it in the previous lecture. So now I come to end of our last topic, that is rebellion, the Blue Rebellion, and after how people have revolted. So in March 1859, thousands of Roetis in Bengal refused to grow indigo. Farmers refused that we are not going to grow indigo anymore, and the rebellion spread. This आंदोलन जो start किया वो spread होने लगा, that everyone was starting refusing to pay the rents also, and they attacked all the indigo factories, and they also swore कसम ले ली that they will no longer take advantages to sow indigo, not to be bullied by the planters lathials. मतलब कोई भी हमें बोले, we are not going to grow the indigo anymore. and the government set up Indigo Commission to inquire this system. The British government set up the commission. It declared that indigo cultivation was not profitable for Ryots and hence they refused to produce indigo in future. And so after the revolt, indigo production collapsed in Bengal and the planters now shifted their operators to Bihar. And so लोगों ने इतना ज़्यादा आंदोलन किया, फार्मर्स रिफ्यूज एंड सो वो गवर्नमेंट ने क्या कहा, हाँ ठीक है, यहाँ पे फार्मर्स को बहुत नुकसान हो रहा है एंड सो वी विल नॉट ग्रो indigo here, and so they shifted their plan to Bihar. And now in Bihar the movement was led by Gandhiji in 1947 and it ended the indigo production to Tinkathia system. So till here is the chapter, and here I finish up with the chapter's explanation, that is the Blue Rebellion and after. So let me tell you, so they brought military for safeguarding the planters in the indigo districts. Because of this andolans done by the different people, the Britishers brought indigo safeguarding planters. Queen Victoria ordered magistrate of Barasat, Aisley Eden, to issue a notice stating that Ryots would not be forced to enter indigo contract. And so here the Queen Victoria has sent a message notice that farmers should not be forced to enter into the contract, and the commission was set up. Now what were the commission's conclusion? What did they say? They said that the planters were found guilty, indigos were not profitable for the Ryots and all, and so they shifted to Champaran. So it's over here. The lesson is over. Go through the video again and again, and I hope I have made all the points of the chapter very much clear. So we'll meet with the new chapter in the next video lecture. Till then, bye.